Okay, quick little story time. Around this time last year, I played God of War because I'd been waiting for it to come to PC for a while, and I'd saved up a bit of cash, and I could finally play it. And I loved it. I could definitely see the hype. It was amazing. It was very well written. There were some really strong story moments, and it had a really satisfying ending, and it left me wanting so much more. And that's why I was really excited when I saw Ragnarok, the sequel, was only coming out in like a few months' time. But that excitement was short-lived because I saw the only on PlayStation logo at the end of the trailer, and I realized I'll have to wait 3 years for the PC port to come out. Yay! Okay, so moving forward a bit, let's skip the present day. Well, 3 weeks ago, it was the major sales in France at the time, so I went fuck it. I bought a PS5 with Ragnarok included, and I was really excited because like, holy shit, I actually get to play the sequel now. And no, I did not buy a PS5 just to play one game. I actually bought it to play 2 games. So over the course of the last like 2.5 weeks, I've been playing Ragnarok, taking my sweet time with it, doing all the side content, and I finished the game yesterday, and it was amazing. I was really impressed with it. It was everything I really hoped for. I had a very satisfying conclusion. One of the best endings you can ask for like a 2-part like story. I love the direction they took for like all of the characters. And I think like an hour of my playtime was probably just spent taking pictures because this game looks amazing. But yeah, you get my point. I thought the game was fantastic. So naturally, after finishing the story, I go to see what the wonderful people of the world have to think, because it's interesting, and I was hoping that we'd all kind of share the same sentiment. But to my surprise, the very first article that I opened, I kid you not, I can show you my history tab, the very first thing I opened was this Reddit post of everybody agreeing that it's a massive disappointment. And it's not even like some obscure Reddit post with like 30 upvotes. This shit has nearly 1,000 upvotes, and like there's not even a comment ratioing him. They all agreed, and I was just so confused. Like, I've honestly never been so lost in my life. And now I'm wondering if I just have really shit taste. Like, are my standards just really low? Will I just like anything that has cool action scenes and pretty set pieces? Do my opinions suck? Of course not, but maybe it's worth thinking about. Just a little bit. Now, we all have our toxic traits as people. Like, nobody's perfect, except like Keanu Reeves, but he's not actually a real person. Me personally, I think I've realized that I have a really elitist mentality when it comes to me talking about stuff that I'm actually passionate about. I'm like a really stubborn granddad who's like stuck in his own views on something, and if anybody dares try to persuade him otherwise, he'll just have this lifelong grudge against you. Well, that's basically me, kinda. Now, over the years, I've gotten a lot better at accepting like other people's opinions in a way. Like, you may like something that I don't, and in the past, I'd probably fucking hate you for that. But nowadays, I'm more like a good for you type of guy. Like, my best friend, she used to listen to MGK, and I mean, if you'll have seen any of my other videos, you know how fucking shit that means to me. And I mean, yeah, obviously I still love her, but for the last 2 years, I've been teasing her for the fact that she went for an MGK phase. And now, if she ever disagrees with any of my future opinions, I can just go, didn't you listen to Machine Gun Kelly? Sometimes though, I see an opinion that makes me actually angry because it's so bad, and it's just like, it makes me genuinely question if you're just a lower intelligence life form. But it can also be kind of entertaining, which is why I'm on Twitter. To be honest, it's kind of ironic that I'm saying all of this because literally in my last video, I mentioned this. People see people being happy with an album and then be like, yeah, actually you're wrong. But they don't actually provide any legitimate arguments as to why it's not really that great. Upon reflection, I've determined that maybe I'm not the best messenger to get that point across. But my point still stands. The reason I don't hate the post that I mentioned earlier, talking about how God of War fucking sucks, apparently, is because they actually provide legitimate arguments and explain in detail why they didn't like this aspect or this detail or whatever. And there's even some things they mentioned that I didn't even notice at first, but upon being brought to my attention, I can kind of find myself agreeing with them. But if you're just gonna hit me with the, yeah, this film sucks, but don't really follow up with anything, then you're automatically a big fat loser and I hate you. And this goes both ways, by the way. Not just for people who dislike stuff, but also people talk about their favorite something. I once had to listen to someone talk for 10 minutes about why Star Wars Episode 9 was their favorite movie of the year, because it had strong character moments and was well written. And oh my fucking god! I feel like I'm spiraling in this video. Like I'm trying to act like a good guy and be like, hey, your opinion is good and I respect it. But also at the same time in this video, I'm making it very clear that if your opinion fucking sucks, then I will come at you and beat you with a stick. Realistically speaking though, I don't think there's a single product that everybody just kind of collectively agrees with the same opinion. I just don't think that's possible because we're all different and we all have different preferences. Sometimes I think people brainwash themselves into liking something that they don't really think is that great, but since everybody else says it's the greatest thing on the planet, they just kind of feel peer pressured to joining in and sharing the same opinion. I mean, Twitter is a cesspool of people just trying to gain validation by stating these well-liked albums as their favorites in order to gain attention and validation and get fucking brownie points. Just state how you really feel, please. I know it's ironic coming from me because I'm the big loser who slanders anybody who doesn't have the same opinion as him, and I think it just creates for a healthier dialogue if everybody just states how they actually feel instead of succumbing to peer pressure. But if you can remember just one thing from this video, it's that fuck the critics, they don't know shit. User scores are all that matter. Any critic is stupid because they think they know everything and they don't. Yeah, mic drop moment. Okay, so you've somehow made it this far into the video without getting bored, and I applaud you for that. And I wanted to reward you with something. Now don't get too excited, but I am going to reveal to you my deepest, darkest secret that I don't tell to anyone. And you guys will be the first ones to hear it. I feared that saying this out loud would get me killed, but alas, I'm willing to take that risk. I like The Last Jedi.